Hi, I'm Edna from the Cranston Public Library here with Bedtime Stories. So I'm in my den, I'm all ready for bed, my teeth are brushed, I've had my drink, I've got my teddy here, and it's been a very warm day. So I hope all of you got a chance to get outside, enjoy the nice weather. And tonight we're going to read, actually I'm going to show you this really quickly. This is the Illustrated Treasury of Children's Literature. And many, many years ago, we had this book in my family's house, and my father would read to my sister and I from this book. And so now I have a copy, and I thought I'd read a story to you from this. So tonight we're going to read The Story of Peter Pan, Peter's Shadow. So for those of you who don't know the story of Peter Pan has lost his shadow, and this is what happens. Sitting on the rug, he soaped his feet, and then he soaped his shadow. But his feet and the shadow would not stick together. It is of no use to have a shadow if it will not stick to you. After trying and trying in vain, the poor little fellow put his face in his hands and sobbed aloud. It was then that Wendy awoke, and she sat right up in bed. Not at all afraid, she said, "Little boy, why are you crying?" The boy sprang to his feet, and taking off his cap, bowed very low. Wendy bowed in return, though she found it a hard thing to do in bed. "What's your name?" asked the little boy. "Wendy, darling. What's yours?" "Peter Pan." "Where do you live?" "Second turning to the right, and then keep on till morning." This seemed to Wendy a very funny way of going home, but she was so sorry when she heard that Peter had no mother. But Peter was not crying for that. Peter was crying because he could not get his shadow to stick on. That made Wendy smile, and she said firmly that soap was no good. The shadow must be sewn on. "Shall I do it for you?" she asked, and jumped out of bed to get her workbox. Then she set to work, and though it hurts a good deal to have a shadow sewn on to your feet, Peter bore it very bravely. It was the right thing to do, for the shadow held on so well. Peter was pleased, and he danced up and down the room with delight. He saw the shadow dance on the floor as he flung his arms and legs about. "Oh, how clever I am!" cried Peter, full of joy. And he crowed for all the world, just as a cock would crow. A cock is a rooster. "You are vain," said Wendy in a vexed tone. "Of course, I did nothing." "Oh, you did a little." "A little? If I am no use, I can at least withdraw," she said, and she jumped back in bed and put her head under the bedclothes. "Oh, Wendy, please don't withdraw," Peter cried sadly. "I can't help crowing when I am pleased with myself. One girl is of more use than 20 boys." This was rather clever of Peter, and at these words, Wendy got up again. She even said she would give Peter a kiss if he liked. But Peter did not know what she meant. Then, seeing the thimble on Wendy's finger, he thought she meant to give him that, and he held out his hand for it. Now Wendy saw at once that the poor boy did not even know what a kiss was. Being a nice little girl, she did not hurt his feelings by laughing at him, but just put the thimble on his finger. Peter liked the thimble very much. "Shall I give you a kiss?" he asked, and pulling a button off his coat, gave it to her with a grave face. Wendy at once put it on a chain, which she wore around her neck, and then she forgot that he did not know what a kiss was, and again asked him for one. At once he gave back the thimble. "Oh, I didn't mean a kiss. I meant a thimble," said Wendy. "What's that?" he asked. "It's like this," replied Wendy, and gently kissed his cheek. "Oh," cried Peter, "how nice!" And he began to give her thimbles in return. And ever after, Peter Pan called a kiss a thimble, and a thimble a kiss. So I hope you enjoyed a little part of Peter Pan. It's a great story if you're looking for a nice read aloud. And I wish you sweet dreams from the Cranston Public Library.